I'm going to talk about your communication skills, about the why, how, what technique. Some of you might already be familiar with this technique. I basically borrowed the concept from Simon Sinek. You might have seen his video already about the golden circle. It talks about companies communicating their messages and their true beliefs. And I abbreviated this to fit it more into a job search and career perspective. So let's start with the why. The why is one of the most important things to talk about throughout your entire job search process. Most people never talk about their why because it's probably the part that requires the most brain work and creativity to figure it out. But these are the questions, the why questions will also be asked in the interview, so you have to be prepared for them. So I suggest you write them down. You'll also get the recording, so you can answer them later. Some why questions are: why should a company hire you besides your skills, experience, and education? Basically meaning that why are you unique? You have to be able to answer this question. Then also, why do you want to work for this company? This is definitely one of the major questions that the company or HR will ask you in an interview. Why do you want to work for them and not for their competitors? And if you just say, well, I just got presented by a recruitment company, or I just found your ad on jobs.ch, it's not going to be enough. You need to do your research, and you need to know exactly why you want to work for this company. Next one, why do you work in the current profession? Is a more profound question, and it's basically asking you, why did you choose the career path that you chose? And the last one is a bit more deeper. Why do you get up every morning apart from making a living? What's your core motivation? And this is a very important one to answer. Then the next part is the how part. How did you provide value for your previous organization? How do you solve interesting problems? How do you approach things differently? So your creativity. How do you motivate others to follow you? So how do you lead? And how can your future employer benefit from you? So this is more of describing the way to or the benefits for your for the company you're applying to or that you have an interview with. And you need to be able to answer these questions as well. Some people answer them, most of the people don't, and most of the people only answer the what. So what are your core talents, your expertise, what are your key skills, what you have achieved in your last job? That's all fine, and you have to be able to answer these questions and to give the details. But with only answering the what, you're not really able to stand out of the crowd, because if you compare yourself with 20 other people on the what level, you're all pretty similar. And on the how level, there might be some differences. And on the why level, almost everybody is unique. So keep that in mind when you define your communication strategy. Now, a quick story about the why, how, what. It's an interesting, I think, if you're here, Dennis, just send me a quick message on the chat. I hope you're in the webinar as well. I'm just going to tell the story of how I and you met. So I hope I get it right. The first time when we met, when Dennis and I met one of my coaching clients, he told me what he's done in the past and what experience he has, etc. And then we started the coaching, and only after the second session, there was a really interesting change happening. We started to talk about valuing employees, and he started a sentence with, "I believe that people are the most valuable part of an organization." And that's basically the why. So he communicated one of his beliefs. The second one is the how part. He got into more details. So he started with, "I always treat my employees with the highest respect," etc. So he talked about his how. And at the end, he said, "I remember when I was a country manager, etc., etc. So I talked about his what he did back then, and I was sitting in front of him and I told him, if I were a CEO and you were applying or talking to me for a country manager position and I would value my employees, I would hire you right away because you share my values, you share my beliefs, and this is an extremely important and central part of the whole idea. So bear that in mind.